played it. You know, it'd be a tough battle going in. Both are very smart. Both are very tough. So better happen now than the middle of the season so these guys can get some practice reps and prepare for it. And, you know, I think either one of them will be fine.
Coach, how has he improved? How has Hainsey improved in the last year from this time last year?
His film study is outstanding. You know, he's been a tough guy. He comes from Notre Dame. He's very smart. He can see defenses. He can help the quarterback that way. He can help the offensive line. He's diligent about it, and he wants to be good. There's not a day he doesn't come in and watch tape. So it's just a matter of putting it on tape and getting a chance to play.
Has there been discussion about bringing in possibly a veteran center?
There's been discussions, but not heavy discussions. We'll see what's out there, and we'll see what fits us. If we need to bring somebody in, we will.
Todd, I know you go over this all the time about, you know, when you're not in pads, what you can and can't do. You've seen the play now. What's the takeaway from how that happened yesterday?
Well, the four-man rush, it wasn't anything severe. It's just a fluke thing that happened. You know, it was part of football. It's unfortunate that it happened. It could have happened anytime, anywhere. And, you know, we feel bad for Ryan. Obviously, it's a big loss when you lose an all-pro center. But there's a chance for other guys to step up. And if it's going to happen, it happened early enough to where we can get some guys ready and we can adjust.
With the depth at receiver in Evans and Godwin, Julio, Gage, you potentially have four receivers that wouldn't necessarily play on special teams. I know you're used to getting teams' help from your depth at receiver. What's the easiest way to offset or to make up for that?
Well, we keep quite a few receivers, you know. We keep quite a few receivers. You offset that with maybe the tight ends, the inside backers, the outside backers, and the DBs, and maybe a running back or two. So it's not always every position that's a team's player. And our fifth and sixth receiver will play teams anyway, so you'll always have two. You hardly ever get three to play teams as a receiver.
We saw Gage kind of in the mix on punt returns. Is that in play as well?
Just looking at options right now, you know, in case things happen. We've kind of moved guys around a lot and see who can go in there and pinch and do things. So you'll see a lot of people doing things they don't normally do.
How are Keanu Neal and Logan Ryan getting acclimated defensively?
I think they fit in great. Both are highly intelligent, truly professional, and they can play. You know, they help the younger guys with the calls. They're very studious. They prepare their bodies well, and they're great additions for us.
Not the guys who are battling for those final receiver spots, the fifth, sixth, and seventh. Playing special teams would be a prerequisite for those guys. Is that accurate?
They're going to have to be able to do both, yes. They're going to have to be able to do both. And once the pads go on and the preseason games come, we'll see what shakes out.
Did you see anything more from Julio today? I know yesterday you had some early observations of him, but just your thoughts on what he looked like today, too?
They haven't changed. You know, he's just getting caught up to the system. So you can only put him in there doing certain things. But excited about what he did yesterday. Very happy about what he did today. You know, got to catch him up to the system and make sure he's in camp shape. He wasn't in any program as far as team-wise the past couple of weeks. So we try to monitor that situation as well.
Is he in camp shape, would you say? Again, I know it's hard when you're not working out with him.
I don't think anyone's in camp shape. You know, sometimes you work out at these things in the off season. You work out indoors. So the Tampa Heat and getting in camp shape, that'll come in about a week or so.
The day off for Tom, what did you see from Kyle Strasburg with more reps today?
Just decisiveness for the most part, knowing where to go with the ball, comfortable in the huddle, commanding the offense was nice for both him and Blaine.
Simon Julio, the idea was it's a long season, you can never have too much talent, you can never have too much depth with injuries. Given that philosophy, does it make sense to look for another center that has experience?
It makes sense, but it's got to be the right guy. You know, we just can't sign a center because he has experience. He's got to fit us. He's got to be able to play. And signing Julio was not only for the long haul, it was just as much as doing different things on offense and be able to replace Gronk's catches. You know, Gronk had a lot of catches and showed up in a lot of areas. So we'll approach things a little bit differently since we got a bunch of receivers. But, you know, we're always looking for an offensive lineman. It's just got to be the right guy, and it's got to fit. But we got to give the other two guys a chance as well.
Antoine Winfield Jr. has been moving around a bit out there. How is his role going to expand this season? I'm sure he's showing you guys a lot that he's ready to be a leader out there.
Now, Wynn's big thing is he understands where his help is now. He's always going to be a playmaker. He's always going to be ready to play. He'll hit he'll catch the ball. Understand where his help is and taking advantage of situations is what he's really been focusing on, and we're happy where he's at.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Got Mike Evans here in a second. Mike, we're ready for you. Yeah. Coach.
Hey, I'm about to move this, dude.
Oh.
I'm just.
Mike, we see you out there chatting up with Julio today. Just maybe what that's like to add somebody like that when you had such talent already in your.
I mean, he's a guy I've watched a lot of my career. I mean, we were in the same offense when Dirk Cutter came here, so I've seen probably the most film I've watched on a certain player since I've been in the league has been him. And he's an unbelievable player. He still has a lot of juice left. And he's a great guy, man. It's cool talking to him. Add another great weapon.
He was really complimentary of you two, you and Chris. He said he doesn't think you guys get enough credit for who you are as people. As somebody that has studied him a lot, and also you know the ins and outs of this offense and what you guys maybe need. What can he bring that's maybe been missing?
I mean, last year we got injured is really, what happened. But having him is like it makes us more well-rounded, gives us more depth at the position, and he's an all-time great talent. So he's going to add a lot of things. Hopefully I can take some double teams off of me. That'd be great.
It's obvious that the competition is high in the wide receiver group, but who's kind of standing out to you or making big strides out there?
It's pretty early, but I think we have a great wide receiver room this year, probably the best that I've been around. It's very early to tell, but I like all the young guys. I feel like Tyler Johnson, though, is in tip-top shape. He's looking really good. If I had to choose one guy right now, I know it's only been 3 days, but Tyler Johnson looks really good.
Hey, Mike, Coach Bowles was saying that you guys caught a little bit of a break today because you got a breeze with the weather. Just as a guy who plays in this environment, can you share what it's like to acclimate your body to the heat and how that?
Yeah, man. I live in Texas in the off season, and Texas is a hot place, but this place beats it easily. I mean, the humidity, it's real sticky out here. It's just a different type of feeling. Like I never knew until I got here, and I've been doing it for a while. And people always say you're not used to the heat. I'm not. I mean, it takes a while. Like you need to go through training camp and preseason to get your body ready for this because it's a different type of heat out here.
Speaking of feeling, what was your feeling when you saw Ryan Jensen, a leader on this offense, go down yesterday? Because it just seemed like even from over here, like the life was just sucked out of this whole place.
It was. I mean, a player like that. I mean, he's obviously a great player, but he's really our enforcer if you think about it on our offense. I mean, he's such a great guy, great teammate. He brings that energy. I'm praying for him and his family. We'll definitely miss him. We don't know the timetable, but it looked pretty bad, man. I just wish nothing but the best for him. We'll miss him a lot.
You mentioned this being probably one of the best receivers in the league. Is there anything that you feel like you can learn or somebody that you feel like you can learn something new from? Especially because you're going into
I learn from all the guys. Like every year I pick up something new as well as the other guys. I mean, we all learn from each other. And that's been great. Like Julio's teaching me stuff. Chris is always talking to me, and we're always like just learning from each other. So it's great to have that, and I can't wait to see what we do this year.
Mike, we still see Bruce Arians out there front and center, watching you guys. Kind of what's his role with you guys on a day-to-day basis these days?
I mean, it's similar. He just doesn't conduct the team meetings anymore, but he's still out there talking to us, giving us pointers, telling us what to do and things like that. It's great to have him around. Obviously, this coaching staff is his regime, so. I mean, it hasn't been much different. Still fiery. Yeah, he's a great. He was riding around with a kid that he's doing like some charity for, and showing him through practice. So he's a great guy. He's doing his thing in there for charity. I'm about to go in there and talk to the kids in a little bit, but he's pretty much doing the same things other than the team meetings.
Everybody knew that Gronk was Tom's guy because they had been through so many battles together, and their chemistry was well documented. have that this year with Gronk's retirement. Do you feel like you've got to step up and kind of be that guy with Tom, be that guy that he looks to? I mean, we saw quite a bit of that last year.
Well, Gronk, I mean, obviously Gronk, best tight end ever, and him and Tom, their connection is one of the best that we've ever seen. But I always feel like I got to step up, no matter what. Even when everybody's healthy, I feel like I got to step up because it's hard to win in this league, and you got to play your best week in, week out. And if you don't, it's going to show. So I always feel like I got to step up and be the best I can be.
Probably a lot of years where it was hard maybe to get free agents. I mean, the weather, the no taxes and all that, right?
Yeah.
But now you've got guys coming in, and it's solely to win a ring. And when they're here 3 days, they go, this is different. Everybody is just singularly focused on one thing. What's it like since you've been through the lean years to have that kind of turn around and see how many players want to be here and win with you?
I mean, it's obviously the big change, and it's because, obviously Tom's a huge part of it. But, I mean, we got a lot of great players on this team, and the last couple seasons, it's definitely changed. You could see it. I mean, I feel like it was – when we were losing, it was terrible. Like, practices it was different. Like, now it's different how we maneuver around. Like, this franchise just did a complete, 360. And, obviously we got to thank Tom for that, but it's just different, man. It feels like early on in my career, I wanted to play I was like, I don't know how much longer I can do this. And now I feel like I'm trying to play until, I can't. So we'll see.
Speaking of that, what kind of lessons have you learned the more you spent time around Tom? He's going to be 45 next year. It's crazy. What kind of lessons have you learned from him as far as prolonging your career? Because you're not a spring chicken anymore.
He loves the game of football. And most of us love the game of football. But he loves it, and he doesn't take nothing for granted, like nothing at all. He handles losses well. He handles wins well. And he just wants to be the best he can be. And, week in, week out, year in, year out, he does it, takes care of his body, makes sure he's doing the little things. And it's rubbed off on everybody and poured into this franchise.
As far as taking care of your body, I remember last year you were saying how it was a lot easier for you to just stay in shape in the offseason versus having to, get back in shape. Was that a lesson that you took from him? What specific physical lessons?
Each year I try to figure out what I can do better in the off season, and I think it's just I need to work out sooner, less volume though, because I used to wait. I used to take 2 months off, and that was crazy. I'd be out of shape, my body would be deconditioned, and it'll take me a while to get back in shape. And now it'll take a couple weeks off, go on vacation or something, and then I start working out with my trainer. So it helps.
Those kids you got running around at home now.
They help. Yeah, my kids definitely help. They come out, work out with me, give me added motivation. So, other than winning the Super Bowl and my kids being young, I just want to prolong my career and come out this game safe, healthy, and rack up a lot of success.
Okay.
Thank you.
How y'all doing?
So you get to reunite with one of your pals from Atlanta. What's it been like having Julio around here? He said he was going to lean on you pretty heavily for help learning the system.
Man, we ain't missed a step. So it's always great to have Julio on the team with you. That's my boy.